All right, let's get started. Oh. Let's get started. This is a super quick PowerPoint. Very, very, very basic. Kind of like our very basic skeletal system lecture. So I have 3 types of muscles, or really muscle tissue, I should say. Cardiac, which you can guess is where? In the heart. It's only found in the heart. Skeletal, which is like your normal muscles that you think of, right? Your biceps, your quads, those are all skeletal muscles. They're attached to bones, makes sense. And then your visceral or smooth muscle. And this, your smooth muscle is like around your hollow organs, so like around your stomach, small intestine, respiratory passages, all of your blood, every artery in your body has a little layer of muscle in it. So tons and tons of smooth muscle. And look at the picture on here. So they look pretty different, the 3 types of muscle cells. This smooth muscle cell is kind of has one nucleus. They're kind of spindle shaped, right? And they're smooth. They look smooth. And you can tell when you look at them, you're like, oh yeah, that looks smooth. So looks like smooth muscle. Skeletal muscle cells have these little lines in them. They're kind of cylindrical shaped, and they have multiple nuclei. So one skeletal muscle cell can have multiple nuclei in it. It's kind of different. What else do you think muscle cells probably have a lot of? What other type of cell organelle? Think back to biology. Do it. Potentially, lots of protein, right? Do it. What about, think about, what does your muscle have to function? I don't know. This is hard. What is it? What do you think it needs? What does your muscle need to do? What do your muscles do? They move. So what do they need to be able to move? How about energy? Right? What cell organelle provides lots of energy? Mitochondria. There you go. Remember, it's a powerhouse. Mighty mitochondria. So, yeah, lots of mitochondria in your muscle cells too. And then the last one here is this cardiac muscle cell. So cardiac muscle cells kind of look like skeletal muscle cells in that they have the striations, right, the lines in them. But cardiac muscle cells are branched. They can have like multiple kind of like feet coming off of them, and they're connected at those branches. So all through the heart, they're kind of just like connected. The other special thing that cardiac muscle tissue has is between each cell, it has what's called an intercalated disc. And this is like kind of a specialized little communication device, if you will, that sits between 2 cells. And what it does is it allows an electrical current that moves through the heart to be able to move from cell to cell really easily, really quickly. It has that gap junction zone, so it moves across. Because your heart, you think about it, it beats, right? So all those cardiac muscle cells have to carry that electrical current. And so those intercalated discs allow it to pass to cell to cell to cell. And because they're branched, then it all contracts together, right? Your heart, you want it to. You want all those cells to contract at the right time. So that's how it works. Pretty cool. All right, types of movement. So we have involuntary and voluntary movement. Involuntary is like you don't have to think about it, right? You don't have to think about breathing. You don't have to make your pupils dilate or constrict depending on what light there is. You don't have to tell your stomach to turn. Like, hey, I just ate something. Time for you to get moving, right? You don't have to think about it. Those are all involuntary muscles. So smooth muscle is involuntary, and cardiac muscle, right? We don't have to tell our heart to beat either. That can be dangerous, right? But skeletal muscle is voluntary for the most part. There are some involuntary things about it, like if you touch something hot, right? You have a reflex and you jerk your arm back. That's involuntary, but those still using skeletal muscles. All right, muscle actions. So these you'll probably want to study A lot of it, because a lot of them sound kind of similar, but you think about movement. Okay, so adduction says moving a body part towards the midline. So if I've got my arms out, adduction means I'm moving in this direction. My legs, adduction is moving it towards the midline. Okay, abduction is moving it away from midline. So that would be abduction. Okay, moving it out from midline. So a couple ways to remember this. One, think of adduction as adding it to yourself. And abduction, like if someone abducts someone, right, they take them away. There's a way to remember it. Or, I had a student come up with this one year, but the D faces towards the A in adduction, so you move it towards midline. Abduction, the B faces away from the A, so it moves away from midline. 2 ways to remember that. Flexion is just bending or like flexing at a joint. Extension is straightening. And one interesting thing to know about muscles too is they always work in pairs. So you think about your bicep contracts and your tricep is its paired muscle, right? Because it extends and this one's contracting. Okay, don't get jealous. I know my muscles are really big. So, rotation, turning around on an axis. So this would be rotation, right? Moving, kind of a twisting motion. Circumduction is in a circle, like the circumference, right? Geometry term. So you move your arm this way. This is circumduction. Okay, this is rotation. See the difference? Okay. Those are very basic movements. There's a lot more, but those are all the ones we need to know here. All right, so vocabulary. Muscle tone is a state of partial contraction. That's like your constant tone of your muscle. Even if you're not using your muscle, it still has a state of tone to it. It's still, it still kind of has a contracting part to it. Atrophy, we've talked about. It's that muscle wasting. Contraction, we've already talked about. And then a muscle spasm is a cramp. You've all had muscle cramps before, I'm sure. So severe, sudden, painful, involuntary flexion of a muscle. And then diseases, there's just 3 in here we're going to look at. The thing with muscle diseases is, and this is not across the board by any means, but, muscle diseases, for the most part, don't have cures. It's usually like an injury. You can fix an injury. It takes a long time. Muscle injuries take a really long time to heal. But diseases that primarily affect the muscles, most of them don't have a cure. You might can treat them somewhat, but there's not anything that's going to make them go away completely. Some things, yes. There's a few that are you might just have them for a little while, but usually there's still lasting effects. Fibromyalgia, so this is a chronic, widespread pain in the muscles, right? We talked about myalgia. That was on last week's meeting. Was it? Myalgia. So pain in the muscle. Signs and symptoms. Fatigue. What is fatigue? Yeah, right. Just really tired, worn out, that kind of feeling. Fatigue, stiffness, numbness, and tingling. HA is headache. And then depression. Why depression? Why do you think depression would be a symptom of that? Yeah, it is. Think about it. If you're in pain all the time, your muscles hurt all the time, I would think you'd probably be a little bit depressed. You have to deal with pain constantly. So part of that is that depression, because there's just no getting it better. There's medicines. Probably seen commercials for fibromyalgia, but there's medicines to help treat it that hopefully make it better, but there's not really a cure for it. Treatment for symptoms, again, doesn't cure it. Muscular dystrophy. So this is a group of diseases that causes severe muscle atrophy. So that muscle wasting. It's a chronic disease. Once you get it, there's no cure for it again. It often appears in kids while they're still young, but it can appear in adults too. Muscle atrophy, so to the point that they can't use their muscles, they're just wasting away and they won't work. Physical therapy for the symptoms, but again, it won't cure. And then the last one, here's myasthenia gravis. And this is where the nerves and the muscles are not getting a good connection. So your brain may think, okay, I want to pick that up, but your muscles can't seem to get coordinated enough to make it happen. That would be a really frustrating thing to deal with. Do what? Yeah, that would be hard. Another, again, all these muscle diseases, a lot of them have symptoms of depression too, because, it'd be a frustrating way to live, a really difficult thing to live with. Signs and symptoms: muscle weakness, paralysis. Again, it can be fatal if it gets to the heart, because your heart is a what? Yeah. So it makes sure those muscles start working, and the respiratory muscles end up with that. Again, no cure, and there's not really a treatment for this either. I don't know what they can do. So that is the muscle, very, very, very basic muscle lecture, and the last one of the year. So